Welcome back, guys. So the Pokemon market is dipping. So should you take action or sit on your hands and get some other ideas? So let's talk about it. So dips provide opportunities. So there's many opportunities in the market to take advantage of. So I'm going to be going through that today. And again, we've got about 4 weeks left till the 30th anniversary comes out. So yeah, hyped for that set. Yeah, got some cool videos coming up for the 30th, so do stay tuned for that. Okay, so when I say undervalued sets, so it's basically sets where we're seeing people buying, we're seeing again dips in the market, and obviously the volume coming in. So we're seeing that accumulation, but again that's after we've seen those big sort of, I'll say crashes. They're 20-30% dips, and again the sets haven't changed. The sets are still phenomenal. People just panicking. They're saving money for the 30th anniversary Delta Rain, so they're just selling other sets to get money, I suppose. So the first set I'm going to be looking at is, as you can guess, Phantasmal Flames. Um, again, it's a set where a lot rides on one or two cards, but I think people are overlooking quite a few of the other cards, the SIRs. We've talked about the Meowth, the Sharpedo's fantastic. Piplup's awesome, Flygon, Dewgong, but I think long term there are a few cards here which people will want for their collections. I think with this Scarlet and Violet era, and even Mega Evolution, we've been so lucky to have these SIRs, and if they're going to continue it in future generations and sets, we don't know. Again, it's super cool, and again, he saw Yu-Gi-Oh sort of use the idea as well. They released the full scale arts of Blue Eyes, Dark Magician, and again it stems from Pokemon. Let's be honest. They started this when Scarlet and Violet sort of began, and it does really well. It brings the cards to life. You can see more of the environment, and you really feel you're part of that sort of image and artwork. So yeah, super cool. So again with Phantasmal Flames. Yeah, again, chase concentration is high, and again, it's just because of the Charizards. And what a sick cards, but again, population is so high, it's nearly 30,000. It's borderline 151 Charizard population. I think it's a bit more than that, to be honest. And again, we've seen dips from 809 to, I'm no, sorry, I'd say not that low. 2,800 down to 1,800. So the PSA 10, I'm not looking to purchase at these levels. I want to wait for dips. But in terms of like the booster box, we've seen bugger all reprints. And again, we've seen bugger all reprints, and I think we've got cards in the set which I think long term will do quite well. Aside from the Charizard, it's without a doubt one of the best, SIRs in the era. 100%. But you've got, Sharpedo, which is awesome. Again, it's not a card I'm purchasing right now, but it's looking super attractive. Anything sub 18, I might look for a scoop on that. But you've got, Meowth as a Team Rocket. Legends. The PSA 10 is holding ground. But it's more the sealed I want to talk about. So I sort of noticed, and again, it's all about supply and demand. So again, the orange here is the sales and the blue is the supply. So again, last year, oh no, sorry, it's not even been out a year. Still been out 5 months. So yeah, February release. We've got obviously 372 supply, 92 sales, but over time, the supply has diminished. We had a bit of an increase last month. But again, it's purely because, the 30th anniversary hype, we started to see people list, their items selling for liquidity for the 30th of Delta Rain. Fair enough, but, I've shared my opinions. I don't think that's necessary. Unless you're taking profit, nothing wrong with that, but you're going to be buying the 30th at quite a high price. And I think, especially now, just wait. Only try and get in with the Pokemon Center MSRP drops. Don't be buying in the second-hand market. I'll do another refresher next week on the 30th anniversary. I've got a few cool tips and tricks on how to secure, obviously, good discounts. And again, it's a game of patience. It's not a game of FOMO. And who can get the best entries, and everyone's got a different strategy, and you've got to focus on what your game plan is. But it shouldn't be to FOMO. That's never the best thing to do. But again, supply, 265 back in July, and it's only dropped now down to 96. So it's dropped nearly sort of 260% decrease. But we're starting to now see an increase in sales. That's what I was looking at. So 23 sales, 38, now at 65. So it's nearly tripled in 3 weeks, which is awesome. Very good sign, and it's dirt cheap. Again, if we look onto eBay quickly, you can see, I wouldn't try and buy these. The shrink wrap is so loose like that. You want to get a nice tight, especially with the black sort of. Again, it's a bit of a boring box design on the front. I'm not a fan of the Mega Evolution black. I like the Fusion Strike artwork. The Sword and Shield boxes were brilliant. Brilliant Stars was awesome. Chill and Rain. This looks crap. But again, it looks more crap when you've got this crappy shrinkage, loosey-goosey shite around it. You want to get a nice tight seal from factory, not... That's not tight. Can we get an example here? Yeah, this looks alright. Something like that. This looks brilliant. So let me quickly show you motion here in this overall collective. Dark background, Pokemon clearly displayed. So they're the ones to focus on. But again, price wise, 381, 430, 400. So again, we're seeing good discounts still. And I think, because, with the supply drop and the demand increase, I just think it's one to pay attention to, and it's not one to sleep on. Again, I'm not buying the singles, the Zards, PSA 10s. You've got 29,000 nearly in circulation. I think it's going to see, especially when we see a bit of a slump, probably the next era, it's probably into next year, we should start seeing some discounts take advantage of. But these cards are super cheap. I think these are undervalued. So again, a single plays, I think Sharpedo, wait for it to accumulate a bit more, getting that bottom sort of formation, we get that sort of spike. That's the sign of relief we can take advantage of. But Meowth is looking good. Again, anything sub 20 long term, fantastic. Dewgong is banging. I think again, anything sub 5 is awesome. I love Flygon as well. You've got Trapinch down there. You've got Vibe above the water, Laytad. But you've got numerous Pokemon in the environment, and you've got especially the evolution chain. Yeah, I'm buying all that. And again, anything sub 6, I'm buying. I'm buying as active at the moment. This has been in my singles videos for quite a while now. It's probably it from this set, to be honest. Piplup is pretty cool. Again, it's a bit more on the expensive side, but again, Empoleon's a really sick evolution. Piplup's a favourite starter. PSA 10 pop is low, but it's not as popular, so that's why it's a low population. But probably would avoid that for now. But Meowth, Sharpedo, Flygon, Dewgong, even Rotom's pretty good. 18. I want cheaper cards really, so I'll leave that for now. But overall's a good set. Again, the booster box is in my buy sort of territory. Anything close to 350 at like Facebook. What else are we saying? Just online card shows. I would look to get those in. Moving on. So the next expansion I'm looking for is not this one. Destin Rivals. Okay, so Destin Rivals, again, we've talked about. We've seen ETB heavy reprints, booster boxes reprints, but I think we are seeing more ETB reprints. So again, we can take advantage of that. Again, such a good set. Please don't underestimate it. Team Rocket. Again, they're not paying attention because it's dumping, and I get that. But when things dump, we pay attention. Same with crypto. Bitcoin dumps, you pay attention. The Mewtwo, again, we've had videos dedicated to this, but again, population is not that bad overall. We're seeing those sort of dips, which is fine, but they're barely dips, isn't it? You're getting those slow sort of dips, but they're not crashes, and the reprints we've had so far, you know, again, we've got more to come, so don't assume this is it. We're going to be seeing lower prices. So singles for now, I'm waiting. But booster box. Again, I'm buying a couple at the moment, but I'm going to be waiting for more of a. Again, the reprints are due to come out. We're going to see another probably sharp drop, and just wait for that accumulation zone to play out. Supply and demand, again, as it stands, supply is super low. We saw a nice drop from the 306 back in June, all the way down to 62 booster boxes, which is super low. Demand just remaining steady between sort of 30 and 40. Again, we're going to be seeing those supply increases, so expect this to tick up again, sort of in the coming month or two. But I think we're near the bottom end. I think booster boxes, especially in the US, may come down to like 450. But I think anything sub 450 is a steal. I really do. The ETBs, they haven't quite got the standard ETB on TCG Quant. That's the one I want to sort of talk about. But what I want to pay attention to again is the ETB. I think that's going to be an absolute steal. This is what's been hit the hardest with the ETB sort of reprints. Not Pokemon Center, just standards. But again, we've flushed from 207. Let's go for the year. From 276 down to 132. It's insanely cheap. And again, you're seeing the volume kick in. Wales know, we know, it's just a strong buy. I'm buying it at the moment. I'm going to be I'm adding more on dips if we do see sort of heavier drops on the set. But again, it's stinky how good the set is. It really is. You know, you've got you know, we've gone through the booster box, but even the booster bundles as well, which here we go. No. Yeah, but for me, it's got some ridiculously good SIRs. I mean, the Lapras is brilliant. I think this will do well long term, but again, reprints are here. It's going to be dipping a bit. So you'll wait for the singles, but you've got Misty's Lapras, Misty's Psyduck. There's so many fan favourites that will do well. You've got Rapidash Gen 1, again, consistent buys. Set, you know, it looks brilliant. Vulpix Evolution is going to do well long term. Team Rocket's Houndoom you've got as well, and you've got, you know, increases in purchases. Which reminds me, we are giving this away as well, guys. The same cards. So again, please do subscribe, notifications on, comment anything about the channel you like, you don't like. Favorite Pokemon, winner revealed next Tuesday. I just remind you. Yeah, nice reminder on that. But again, there's just so much good artwork. I just think even the Team Rocket's Meowth. Again, we're going to be seeing more drops potentially. So again, don't rush in and get binders full of it, but just pay attention to it. So again, Team Rocket set, Destin Rivals should be on your waiting list. Next up, specialty set, Blackbolt. This is a really interesting one. So again, you know Blackbolt, Gen 5, Zekrom, Victini, Seismitoad. Again, you've got White Flare, but Blackbolt is the creme de la creme at the top, and it's got more value, it's got more eyes on it. Again, the Seismitoad artwork brought a lot of eyes to this in particular. There's just no reprints, guys. We're seeing reprints on other sets, you know, Destin Rivals, Ascended. Where's the Blackbolt reprints? I'm not complaining. Look how low the supply is. So again, we had in 12 months, you know, 1244 ETBs released. Now 150. But look at how much it's declined over the last few months. And yeah, the demand has not picked up as much, but we're still seeing in 14 days 106 units. People are getting through this very quickly. And again, for good reason, Victini. Look how low the Gen 10 is, as in pop. The reason being, again, it's got a very high Gen 10 rate, But the reason being it's so low in pop is just because we're not seeing the reprints. Zekrom's double that. It's insane. But the reason being, it's still low because we're not seeing the reprints. If they start to flush this out, which again they could do, again it's a year old, so we've still got another year of reprints to come in, but we're just not seeing it now. But the gem rates are high. Which again, normally, if when you get a consistent supply on the market, this set would be a lot cheaper, just because the gem pop will probably double that. But we're just not seeing it, and there's so many fan favorites. It's a fun set to open. It's great for streaming. It's great for lives, like whatnot. It's just such a good set. Again, in terms of price as well, we've had dips all the way from the laser 81 all the way up to 170, and just look what the lack of supply on the market is doing. It's so consistent. It's the most consistent chart out there in terms of like not dumping, people not taking profits, they're just holding. You've got Caballion, you've got Landorus, you've got Solasis, It's all good looking at the screen with me, but if you see these cards in person at card shows and whatever else, they're just insane cards. The Zekrom's ridiculously good. Victini's amazing. In binders and tens, they're going to look fantastic. But even the PSA 10 grade, the PSA graded population, it's not that much. I think 151 was over 2 mil or something ridiculous. Yeah, I'll quickly show you. Just to get a comparison to the sets, like, oh geez, yeah, 3 million was graded, just because of the reprints. So that just tells you how much like this has been underprinted. Even Prismatic Evolutions, what we're saying for that one, where is it? 1.4 million graded. So again, that's 5 times less on Blackbolt. And that's if they don't reprint it at all, which they might not do, this is going one way, straight up. So again, I'd get some exposure. Don't go all into it, but if they don't reprint it, what's going to cause us to drop heavily? It's not. Even if we dropped a little bit to 160, fine. I'll be buying up. It's like a Crown Zenith, a Gen 5 Crown Zenith. We all know how well that set done, and that was really reprinted. So, again, great set. Sorry, I'm rambling. Apologies. You probably expected this to be on the list. Prismatic Evolutions, my favourite set. Huge fan. Yeah, again, 1.4 million graded cards, fine. The gem rate low at 32%. And again, I think we're getting near to that sort of reprint window closure. We've not had an ETB reprint in quite a while. The last ones we've got was, I think, the Costco bundles, which again I've got. They were so good. You got the booster bundle plus the ETB, fantastic purchase. But yeah, look here, guys. For one of the best SIRs in the modern era, just look how low that is. Gem pop is 6135, so low. In comparison to another popular set, which it needs no introduction, but look at the pop, 21,000. That was the best of that era. We're now looking at the best of this era. It's got 4 times nearly less Gem 10. And again, it's the gem rate, obviously that's a 70% PSA 10 rate, which is fine. That's obviously 30% low, but even if that was 60%, that would only be 13,000. Yeah, so again, it's one of those where that's undervalued. 3745, that's undervalued. 4,000, that's undervalued. 3,000, that's undervalued. I could keep going through them all. They're all undervalued. Which means the set's undervalued. And right now, what's the set doing? It's dipping 20%. 20% from the high in March, from 196 down to 163, nearly 30%. But look, I do charts myself with Bitcoin, Ethereum, stock market. This is a very healthy pattern to see. We've had the impulse, the consolidation, the impulse, the they caught an ABC Elliott wave consolidation pattern. This is what this is. Give it time. When the hype has moved back to these good sets, this is rocketing up, I tell you. Do not sleep on Prismatic Evolutions. The top sort of products to purchase are going to be, and again, look at this. Look how low the supply is. Insanely low. People ripping through this left, right, and centre. Trust me. You go on Whatnot, you go on, streams, this is all they're ripping is Prismatic Evolutions. So again, top purchases are the ETBs. Next up, the SPCs, which again, dropping in the, we have seen reprints of this, but again, the supply is dropping. People are taking off the market, people are ripping it open. Price has dropped from 348 to 271, 25% drop. This is your time to buy. As soon as attention comes back to the set, you're missing out. It's not to create FOMO. You guys make your own decisions as always, but this is a setup before we see the rocket. So pay attention to it. Next up, our Pikachu beloved set, Surgeon Sparks. Again, fantastic artwork. Pikachu, Latias, Milotic, Pikachu connecting artworks. We've got the Feebas to the Milotic. You've got Jasmine's Glaze, Misfit. Skarmory looks amazing. Look at that. The silver just transcends throughout the image. And again, super healthy chart. You've got the Impulse Air Consolidation. We'll be seeing new highs at some point. This is too cheap at $10. Gem 10 super low, and Skarmory's a good Pokemon. Pikachu, PSA 10, nice little dip, nice uptick there. We may see that start to pump. And again, gem rate low, 10,000 for another top SIR on the set in the era. Fine, looks really good. Latias looks brilliant, Milotic looks brilliant, Pikachu Gold EX looks brilliant. And again, healthy, uptick, sideways, barely a dip. We're going straight up on that as well. Sub 100, that's there. But again, singles I'm not focusing on. I'm trying to go through the undervalued sort of sets, but the sealed is where the value's at. So Surgeon Sparks, again, we do have supply on the market. It's going to take longer to get those breakouts because of there's more in the market at the moment. So we have seen an increase in supply. Fine, demand has dropped, but it has across the market because summer periods, people are saving up for the 30th and Delta Rain. This will pick up in terms of people buying it, but it's going to be later in the year. But again, it's one to pay attention to. As soon as that supply starts to drop, we're going to start to see prices increasing. Yeah, really good set. There's so many cards that appeal to so many people. That was me yesterday. Super tired after work. We're chilling. Today, more relaxed. We're Misfit vibes. So today we're chilling with more Misfit vibes, but yeah, overall really good set to pay attention to. And again, the booster box is the only one I really would pay attention to. The booster bundles are great, but for me, the true value was in the booster box because again, we have seen the reprints. That's why we have got the supply ticking up. But once they've stopped, which shouldn't be that long, the 2 year is very nearly upon us. That's going to be out the window. And this set will just continue. You see Pikachu on the box, you're paying attention to it straight away. Right, so these were my picks. So Surgeon Sparks, Prismatic, Prismatic Evolutions, Destin Rivals, Blackbolt. I just want to show you quickly what you don't want to see with a so the sets to avoid. So again, Journey Together, it's not a popular set. I've told you to pay attention to the cheap singles in it because it still has that value. Articuno, Warlords, Ents Reshiram, even Swine up to a degree, but they're the ones to pay attention to. I'm not purchasing this box at all. Reason being, so you have a quick look at this chart. What looks bad to you? I'll give you 5 seconds to look. Spot it? Good. So supply, the orange, super low. Look at these massive blue supply, supply spikes. So again, the purchases, they're not coming in. You're seeing 20, 10, but the supply is substantial. Nearly 1,000 units on the market consistently since May. This is going to take many months and maybe years to get through. This is not a set that's going to pump in value anytime soon. There's just too much on the market. So again, this is not what you want to see in a set you want to invest in. So again, but the reason being the set isn't doing that well is because there's no super strong chase cards. Why would you buy this over Prismatic Evolutions, for example? You know, when you've got if you pull one of these, you know what I mean. Again, if you pull anything from Vaporeon onwards, you're getting 3 times the value of the top chase card in the set, and it's cheaper. So why would you buy Journey Together? You wouldn't. So yeah, again, it's just a highlight. Again, I'm not saying it's an overall bad set. I'm saying if you're investing in it, don't expect any long-term gains anytime soon. Again, you know, in time this will go up. They all do. But if you're looking for quicker gains and an easier sell, then this is not going to be your set to purchase. So again, just something to highlight. Again, it's important to pay attention to supply and demand. If the demand was like really high, different story. But it's just cracks, you know what I mean, under the ice. You know, there's nothing punching through. Yeah. Yeah, that's it, guys. So again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, it's just an update on what I think's undervalued right now and what you should be paying attention to. Again, if you do like the content, I do ask, you know, we are getting there towards the 500 subs sort of target. All the comments, the likes, notifications on. So I do notice these things and subscribers that are coming in. Super appreciate it. I hope what I talk about makes sense, and obviously you guys get some value out of my videos. And any suggestions or sets you want to go through, yeah, again, just let us know. But have a good weekend, guys, and thanks as always. Take care.